Hey, welcome back. All right, so Scorpios, let's go ahead and jump on in. This is going to be a retrograde message. So, retrograde started on the 17th of this month and runs until August 10th. Now, just real quick, I will mention, obviously with Mercury retrograde, it's not that the planet's going in the reverse, it's that kind of the same way that a clock goes around. Every time we strike 12 and then continue on, it looks at some point like the clock hands would be going in the reverse, but they're not. They're always still going in the same direction. And Mercury is always going in the same direction, but it moves faster on its orbit than Earth does. So from our vantage point, because it laps us, at some point it looks like it's going in the reverse, although it's not. But I always think of it this way. Anytime something comes full circle and passes a point again, just like, coming around to 12 again on the clock, it does denote passage of time, distance traveled. And of course, time and distance, that means we've aged or we've matured, or maybe we get a second chance a little bit later, at least 12 hours later, if we're talking about a clock, to look at things after maybe we've cooled off, or, in the case of Mercury, like every 4-ish months have passed. And now we can look at things maybe 4 months older than we were before, a little bit more thoughtful, maybe a little bit more mature. Hi, everyone. So great to see you guys. So what is it that's coming back around for Scorpio that might be viewed, and how might it be viewed different? We have the moon, and we actually have the 8 of Cups in the reverse. This kind of looks like somebody says, I don't really know why this person is coming back. I don't know why. It almost feels like Scorpio is wondering either why did I go back, or why did somebody come back? We have the Hierophant. We have the 4 of Wands. Okay, so I'm going to say this. I feel like we may have someone, possibly a Pisces or a water sign, but could also be a Taurus or a fire sign, may have already returned or reached out some time ago to Scorpio. But Scorpio might be thinking about it now, going, why did they do that? Why did they reach out to me? And it almost feels like Scorpio is reflecting on it and saying, my higher self says it's because I'm the person they can't forget. That's the real reason they did this, because I'm on their mind, because there was a hope, or still is a hope, that this either connection's not over, or that they were reminiscing on the good times and still hoping they could have more of those with me. Hierophant and 4 of Wands can both be cards of marriage. It's very interesting, because this could also be that this is what's about to happen during this retrograde. Someone will be reaching out, and it's like, okay, wait a second. Why are they doing this? Now, of course, if this is Scorpio who's like, I'm feeling like I want to reach out to somebody, I want to go back to them, Scorpio could be doing a little soul searching and saying, wait, why am I doing this? And they may have to admit, because I actually love this person, want this person, want to see what would happen if there's still a chance here. And we don't have to always assume that it's like, oh, we had a relationship and the relationship ended, but now can we get a second shot? Let's say this is, I met somebody, they were great, whatever, on a vacation. And then, you know what, I really want to go back. If I can fly back there, maybe even just 4 months later, am I really going just because it was a great vacation? Or am I going because I'm really attracted to this person? This person was great, and I have hopes of a relationship with them. This could be a lot of different scenarios, but the bottom line, no matter who it is and no matter how we read it, somebody is needing to get to the truth of, why am I really trying to return? Because I have hope that this turns into something much more important. I have a hope that this is, going to become the person that I marry. Or this doesn't always have to be about marriage. The 4 of Wands could be about a great relationship in business as well. But I'm kind of inclined to think that this has to do with romance. Okay, can we see who is Scorpio in all this? King of Swords. They are somebody who seems to be quite straightforward with themselves. I'm thinking it's them saying, why is this person reaching out to me? They're hoping that we're going to be a relationship. I think that's what's on their mind. It feels like Scorpio is just being more like upfront with themselves, more truthful with themselves. Like, come on, why is somebody trying to talk to me again? Why are they reaching out? It ain't because they're wondering how the weather is. It's not because they're just like, oh, I accidentally dialed your number. It's not that. And I think this is Scorpio maybe being raw and honest and truthful with themselves instead of being like, I don't know, I don't want to jump to a conclusion. They reached out, and it's like, come on. They reached out because this couple energy still exists. And I think Scorpio is astute enough to read between the lines. Okay, so hang on. Individual that is reaching out to Scorpio, then what are you doing? Two of Swords. Well, I'm trying not to reveal what I'm really doing. Okay. But you do realize that's not working out too good so far in this. Eight of Swords. Okay, so it's like, here's what I don't love. It almost feels like this is somebody who's still stuck on Scorpio but can't admit it to themselves, right? With that Eight of Swords, the word fear is here. It's like they're afraid to admit what they're really reaching out for, what they really are hoping for. Can we get to the bottom of this? Because you need to get to the bottom of this, character. Know why you do the things you do in life. Because if we ourselves don't know what we're doing or why, then who the hell's going to answer that for us? I would just argue that obviously this person does know why they're reaching out, but they're acting like, I don't know. It's just because I'm stuck on Scorpio. I don't love that answer, that they're trying to hide their real reason, but that's probably why the moon is there. Seven of Swords. Okay, so they're lying to themselves. You're lying. Why? Are you lying because you want Scorpio still? Or are you like hoping to just find out Scorpio misses you? I mean, is this just an ego stoke for this person? Because I mean, that could be the case too. Sometimes people that want somebody more than anything, they just want to be wanted by that somebody. So I'm not going to say that couldn't be the case. We have a lot of thoughts here and too much hidden stuff and, some self-deception. So can we see, what is it? Can we just kind of trim this down? What do you really want from Scorpio? Ace of Swords. I want to talk a true conversation. I want to say something that's true, but I'm hiding that even from myself. So what is it that you want to say? My God, it's like pulling teeth for this person. Queen of Wands in the reverse, Temperance. Okay, so there is a big old dose of ego here. I think this person really struggles with saying what they need. And I feel like this person has a deep need for to tell them that you're valuable, you're important, you're lovely. I feel like they're hungry. Please tell me that you still care about me and that you would want me back, and that I don't want to say that I want you back. I want you to tell me that you want me back. That is what it looks like is at the very foundation of this. If somebody is reaching out to Scorpio, and again, this kind of comes across as pretty transparent. Scorpio's like, well, I think they're still thinking about a relationship with me. And then as we kind of had to get through all this dodging and all of this self-deception, and then we finally get down to, well, I'd like to say the truth, which is I'm too scared to ask you, do you think that we could have temperance again, that we could be in balance again, that I need you to tell me that you want to be in balance with me, that you've missed me. Like, that's what it feels like, which is not super great, because this still feels like somebody is coming in their place of need, not really coming in for like an offer or even like a place of maturity, but more like I'm in a place of lack. I need you to tell me that you would still want me. Now, again, super understandable, super relatable, who hasn't had a fragile ego before. I paper thin. Sorry, I just spit at the camera too. I have a paper thin ego, super fragile. And I'm just making fun of myself because I think that that's incredibly relatable. Like, who hasn't reached out to somebody and not been able to, gag it out of your mouth? The truth is, do you care about me at all? Like, we've all felt vulnerable, I think, or maybe it's only those with a paper thin, fragile ego, that I count among my friends. But I think that that's super relatable. At some point in our life, we've all been that person, I think. I think that that's a relatable message. Now, I don't know what that means for Scorpio here because, it is Scorpio. They can obviously tell that this person's reaching out for a reason. We have a Two of Pentacles. Scorpio might be saying, well, here's the thing. Do you really think anybody is not needing to feel important? Especially if once upon a time this was some kind of a relationship, right, where two people interacted and now it's like, I want to come back, but I don't know if you would want me back. And that's the first major hurdle, and that's the scariest, hardest thing to ask. Now, granted, what would maybe be better is if this person just reached out and said, Scorpio, here's the thing, I can't seem to forget you. I still wanted to know if you would want to make things work with me, because I really still want to make things work with you. It doesn't look like they're coming in with that strong a vocabulary. And I think on Scorpio's side, it's like they're balancing it out with, I'm nervous about what the heck this person wants with me too, because it doesn't seem crystal clear, even though I can kind of, read between the lines and figure this out. But doesn't there need to be some kind of balance? Like, what are we just trying to be palsy walsies? This is really tough if two characters are coming in uncertain about the ultimate dialogue, which is, if this is the end goal, look, I want you to love me. I want to be in a Four of Wands. Oh, my biggest dream is that you'd be, back in my arms as my partner, the person that wants to be with me. But if we never get to that part of the conversation, even though that's what the goal is, if instead it's like, well, I don't know, maybe are we just going to try to be palsies? That could be some serious gray area to have to deal with. Nine of Pentacles. I don't know, though. This says maybe that would be helpful. Maybe that would, improve everyone's sense of self-security. I just wonder if that wouldn't put things in a very weird gray limbo land where it's like, okay, so you know how hard it is to be friends with somebody when what you want is to be more. But then it's like, okay, but I guess we're friends, which means I can go out and date people. But at the same time, I know it's you who wants to date me, and I want to date you, but we're going to screw this up royally and destroy each other's, confidence in the process, because we're just friends when we wanted to be more than that. But nobody's going to take that leap and say, this is really what we both like, or like to try to get back to. I don't know. This has me concerned in this storyline, because all of this is coming back around, but there's too much hidden. Remember, that moon card was right at the beginning, wanting to come back, but not wanting to say the real reason why. We've already kind of explored. One person's just afraid to say, I don't know if you want me, and my ego won't let me ask you, even though that's what I want to know. I think Scorpio is going to be just fine, because Scorpio can kind of read between the lines, and maybe Scorpio will be like, well, if they can't tell me what they really want, then fine. We can be in the friend zone. If that's, you're coming back to chit chat with me, but you won't tell me that you want to get back to something real with me, then you know what? Fine, we can chit chat. And that means we're pals. And Scorpio might just say, then that's where this needs to be, if they're not going to tell me more than that. And I can be fine with that. I could see Scorpio taking that approach, not to punish, not to be rude, but more because it's like, I want to meet somebody where they're at. I don't want to do all the heavy lifting. I don't want to chase them around, make them feel special if they can't tell me that I'm important to them. I don't see any of this as game playing. I see it as, how do I keep things balanced then? What are they really offering me? Maybe that's what I have to be able to offer them in return, because that's what they're bringing to the table. Three of Wands, and then we'll see how things go. Maybe there will be more that is offered as time goes on, and then I'll decide if, I want to also offer more. This is kind of like, we'll have to write the future one baby step at a time. Hey, honestly, all these cards are great. So I don't know why I'm so concerned about this, when all of this looks awesome, and it looks like they could bit by bit by bit, maybe see how they build this and grow this, and just see what comes next. High Priestess. If there's a powerful intuition, and obviously Scorpio is spot on, I think, with all of this, based off of what we've seen from them and Scorpio's assumptions, but also willing to take it slow and just go one step at a time and see what can be built. I would say that High Priestess energy, we have a Four of Cups. I feel like maybe it's maybe in this storyline, what we really see then is Scorpio saying, I know this person has some really, really, really big regrets. And I also know that they struggle to say that. And I know that the best way for us to maybe rebuild things, and this is only if Scorpio wants to, but is, if this person struggles to say, I'm sorry if I blew this, and I'm also struggling to ask you, would you ever want me back? So instead I'm trying to come back in like, you know, would you, I mean, it does feel like this person's sidestepping around, like confronting things head on. But Scorpio seems to say, I kind of already know this person has some big regrets, and to rebuild something and maybe transform what we could have in the future one step at a time. It's like they want to do it with actions, not with words. Maybe that's going to be super, super beneficial. Maybe this is where Scorpio's like, I get it. They feel awful and they're trying to rebuild with me with something legitimate instead of sit down and say these words. Because also there seems to be a lot of fear around whether or not Scorpio can ever look at them like a lover again. Do you see me as attractive anymore? Or would you not be able to see me that way? Do you see me as your karmic? And they're so scared to get the answer to that. So instead, I think they're trying to rebuild a foundation to see if Scorpio could maybe see them in a different light, even though they haven't said those words verbally. But that's like what the actions are conveying. And I think Scorpio, again, is saying, I think I see what they're doing here. I intuitively know this is what they're doing. And before asking me, is there a chance? It's like, first, could I just be back in your world? Could we talk? Could I be around you? And then slowly but surely, maybe in 3 months, if things are going well, then maybe I could ask Scorpio, do you think you could love me again? It does feel like this is a very fragile, very tenuous, attempt to come back together. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of careful rebuilding, and there's a lot of unspoken, mistakes and wishes that things have gone different, and then the hope to rebuild stuff. I don't think this person is coming in with like a swagger or a game playing mentality. I actually think this is them being like really quite walking on eggshells and wondering, would I ever be able to change Scorpio's mind? If they're willing to talk to me at first at all, that would be a great first step. And if over time, maybe I could show them that things are different, and then maybe they'd still want me. That's what this feels like. I mean, I was going to be irritated with this at first, but now I'm like, well, I guess that makes sense the way they're trying to handle it. So anyway, I'm going to leave this one here for now. You guys, so nice to see everybody. Cataclysmic Awakening. Hi, sweetheart. Sandy, great to see you again tonight. Cosmo Guy 1001. Thank you for being here, honey. Aurora B, how are you, love? Chanela, thank you for being here. I'm delighted you made it. Are you in Australia? Oh, that's awesome. Welcome, my dear. Lexus Diaz, thank you for popping by. And the Spiritual Catalyst, thanks for being here. All right, you guys, I will see you again as the week progresses. I'll probably see you guys again right around Tuesday or Wednesday. All right, lots of love. Take care. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing.